Well, here we are at the end of 2015. Here in New Zealand, it's December the 31st, and we only have about 6 more hours of 2015 left, and holy fuck, you have no idea how badly I want to see the back of this year. It has sucked. For me, personally. I don't know about you, but for me, it's been pretty much balls. Don't get me wrong, met some really good people, made some really good friends this year that I am eternally grateful for, but failing that, fuck, this year has been shit. So to cap off what a completely crappy year it's been, I bring to you my list of the top 10 biggest fuckwits of 2015. So let's get cracking into this list, because a few of these things I've ranted on, few of these things I haven't ranted on. I say things, I mean people. Whatever. You get my gist. At number 10, we have Ahmed Muhammad and his family. Now originally spot number 10 was going to be occupied with the Boston Bruins, with basically me using the number 10 spot to make as many jokes as I could about the Bruins and how much I dislike the Bruins. But then I realised that Ahmed Muhammad and his family deserve this spot that much more. You see, I was one of those people that was taken in by this kid, right? Thought, holy shit, this kid is the victim of blatant racial profiling with the whole clock incident. But the further the year went on, the more it sort of came to light that really it was a complete setup. How else do you explain the family moving out of the country and then trying to sue Texas for $15 million after Ahmed gets all these fucking wonderful hookups and shit, like a trip to the White House and whatever, and a personal fucking apology from Barack Obama? You know, I regret making that video I made defending the kid because it made me look like an idiot. It made everyone else who defended him look like idiots. And as anyone who's regular on my videos knows, I don't need help looking like a fucking idiot. I do a pretty good job of that myself. So this kid gets spot number 10, as does his family, because apparently his father was the catalyst for all of this bullshit, and his father was the mastermind behind this greedy BS. So there you go, Ahmed. You and your family, you've moved out of Texas, you've moved to Qatar, and you've moved into slot number 10 on my list of fuckwits of 2015. Congratulations. Spot number 9 on this list goes to nobody's favourite bigoted Auckland pastor, Logan Robertson. See, the only reason he's this low down on the list is the fact that he was more relevant in 2014 than 2015, but two things have put him on this list, and that's A, the fact I have to share a country with the toolbox, and B, the fact he's still on Facebook preaching this bigoted bullshit after the massive shitstorm and backlash he got last year. Look, there's one thing for you to be a homophobic, bigoted douchebag with a train of thought stuck straight back in 1926. But it's another thing to be the leader of a church and be preaching this shit to a bunch of people who are all too eager to swallow the crap you're serving. You see, the thing with this fuzzy, in the closet, fuzzy bear looking motherfucker is that he keeps going on about how gays are terrible, fags deserve to die, yeah. He's just a typical one of these asinine draconian idiots that claim to follow the Bible while ignoring all of the good shit that says to love thy neighbour, to love everyone else equally, to honour everybody, to not judge, to not look down on people, only God may judge, don't be a cunt, etc. Logan Robertson is a piece of crap, and once again, I am giving him a giant massive middle finger and a fuck you for continuing to preach hate into 2015. Hopefully he pulls his head out of his ass in 2016, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. Spot number 8 goes to Kim Davis for refusing to issue marriage licenses to gay people, and for essentially the same reasons Logan's on here, except she's more relevant to this year, which is why she's higher. You see, the thing is, if you don't want to do your fucking job, don't do your job. Quit, hand in your notice, go fuck off somewhere else where you're more than welcome to be a bigoted tosser. Fuck, form a church group, do what Logan did, kidnap your kids, get released on bail, wait a few years, become a pastor. Don't get a job as a marriage license issuer and a county clerk if you can't do your fucking job. If your religion gets in the way of you doing the job you are legally supposed to do, don't fucking do it. Don't act like a petulant fucking child because, ow, my books. Just don't fucking do the job. Quit. Pack it in. Either do your job or leave. It's that fucking simple. Don't kick up a shitstorm and make the news because you're a whiny fucking bigot. That's simple. Number 7, brother, is the immoral one himself, Hulk Hogan. For those of you that don't know, Hulk Hogan got in deep, deep shit. After audio from a sex tape, yes, Hulk Hogan made a sex tape, I apologise for giving you this knowledge. It's more than likely as bad as it sounds. I haven't seen it, I don't want to see it. No one wants to see an orange hobgoblin boning his best friend's wife. Well, maybe you do, who am I to judge, but still. Anyway, dude's a screaming racist. The dude drops the M-bomb like there's no tomorrow in this audio. That's the longest payoff to a fucking promo I've ever seen. But anyway, so WWE removed him from the Hall of Fame and basically terminated his Legends contract and told him to get the fuck out and has basically given him the unperson treatment. You see, the thing is, I've never been a Hulkamaniac. I know that Hulk Hogan was important to the wrestling business in the 80s and somewhat the 90s, but I was always more of a Randy Savage fan myself because I've heard the stories of what a cunt Hogan is. And this just further hammers home what a scummy fucking human being the man behind the Hulk Hogan character is. What a load of hypocritical bullshit he was spewing in his, train, say your prayers, be a nice person promos in the 80s. But I digress. It's not 1940s fucking Alabama Hulk. It's 2015. And this has come back to bite you in the ass in a major way. You are not some random nobody jobber making racist remarks. You are Hulk fucking Hogan. You are and probably always will be the face of professional wrestling to the average Joe blogs. And then you do this sort of shit and, well, you've just made a dick of yourself and you've pretty much torpedoed your legacy and you've screwed your relations with WWE for the time being. Now Vince McMahon's forgiven people for, worse, but for the time being it looks like WWE's cut ties and TNA probably couldn't pay the Orange Hobgoblin enough to go back there either. So Hogan's pretty much a lame duck. And speaking of old racist orange dudes, this brings us to number 6, Donald Trump, Captain Comb-Over himself. Every time Donald Trump opens his fucking mouth, he seems to sink his fucking political campaign that much further. Everybody thought it was a publicity stunt when Donald Trump announced he was running for the Republican candidate for the presidency of the United States of America. And ever since he started trying to run for the candidate, it's been a joke, but in a completely different way. Because every time Donald opens his mouth, he just proves how ignorant and out of touch he truly is. Between wanting to ban Muslims from America, to wanting to build a wall around America, to the misogynistic comments he's made, and for once this is the appropriate situation to use the term misogynistic. This is not a bunch of Tumblrites using the term misogynist. He has legitimately tried to disgrace Hillary Clinton for a few feminine issues. But, yeah, he's a fucking idiot. See, Trump's never exactly been the nicest guy. In order to be a successful businessman, you have to be a bit of an asshole. But Donald goes above and beyond. And the only ones that will vote for this guy at this stage are a bunch of ghetto boys from the South that don't want none of them Mexicans and Arabs getting into the country. Or, closet KKK members, out of the closet KKK members, other old rich dudes that are stuck back in the 19th century, you name it. If they're basically a hillbilly stereotype, they'll vote for Trump. Otherwise, I think at this point everybody's got too much fucking common sense to even give this idiot a second look. Sure, the Democrats aren't exactly looking much better themselves, but at least they don't look like they're stuck back in the 19th century. Like Trumpy boy here. Plus at least none of them have a fucking comb over. Jesus Christ, dude, either shave that shit or fucking do the whole bowl thing. Fucking stop lying to people. Stop fucking combing it over. It doesn't look good. Number 5, Lacey Green. You see, I made a video earlier this year where I ripped apart Lacey and I got a bit angry and I got a bit too passionate on it. But that's because the things Lacey says don't make sense. She doesn't think before she speaks. And if she does think before she speaks, what she knows is completely incorrect. She's either incredibly stupid or incredibly intellectually dishonest, I'm not quite sure which. But Lacey isn't anywhere near as bright as her or her followers think she is. Between whining about Halloween costumes and cultural appropriation and sexism where there is none, to following Jonathan McIntosh's train of thought on shooters and how that's something else we need to blame on straight white males and toxic masculinity, Lacey proves she has no clue, no empathy, and a perpetual victim complex. And the fact that she's partnered up with MTV really just says it all. After all, this is the same network that gives us quality television like Jersey Shore and 16 and Pregnant. So, there you go. Number 4, Jared Fogle, aka Jared the Subway Guy. This is a man who had a successful career pitching footlong sandwiches, 6-inch sandwiches, whatever the fuck for Subway. This is the guy that lost a shit ton of weight on the Subway diet. This is a man who made fucking millions for himself in Subway. And then it all came crashing down when they proved he was an absolutely sick piece of shit with a thing for children. That's right, Jared the Subway Guy got busted with child pornography, travelling to pay to have sex with children, and a whole bunch of other weird fucking things to do with basically having a hard-on for kids. It's fucking disgusting. This is made even more ironic by the fact a couple of years ago he set up a charity called the Jared Foundation, right, which is meant to help kids. The director of that got done for child pornography and voyeurism. Jared immediately disconnected from his director as soon as the man was convicted. So then, ironically, a couple of years later, lo and behold, Jared himself is done for possession of child pornography, among other things. Which leads me to ask whether there was a little bit of collusion going on here with these two guys, and his director was just unlucky enough to get busted at first. You've gotta wonder. Jared, you're a fucking sick freak and an idiot. You fucked up your family life, you fucked up your name and image, and basically, again, someone else who's tainted their entire legacy because they will be unpersoned. Subway naturally cut all ties with Jared Fogle. His wife divorced him and took the kids, and Jared's now rotting in jail, as he deserves to be. So, Jared's going to be getting used to a different type of footlong. Enjoy! Number 3. One of my favourite targets of disdain. Jonathan McIntosh. You fat piece of shit. Jonathan has managed to piss me off a lot this year, but the two major incidences are the ones I made videos on. First, there was his disgusting remarks in the wake of the Charlie Hebdo shootings, wherein he implied that the people not only deserved it, but it would serve as a lesson to watch who they make their satire on because it was racist and therefore unacceptable. And then he turns around and claims that most shooters are white straight males, and this is just more of that toxic masculinity shit I mentioned in Lacey's fucking awarding of one of my fuckwit titles. You see, Jonathan is not only a pathetic social justice warrior, he is not only the embodiment of a self-loathing white male feminist, but he is also an emotionless sociopath who cares nothing for the victims of tragedies so long as he gets to push his agenda on people. This is not only shown through his lack of any empathy, but the fact that he wags his finger at people at times when it's really not fucking appropriate. Do you think anyone gives a flying fuck about the type of satire the Charlie Hebdo people were making when their families are mourning and they are shot by a bunch of radical extremists? Do you really think that white males shooting people has any fucking correlation to anything whatsoever outside of your own tiny little self-hating mind, Jonathan? No. It's not appropriate. It's never appropriate, and it's not the fucking point. Jonathan McIntosh gets this nomination above all others, above the likes of, Anita Sarkeesian, Brianna Wu, Zoe Quinn, etc. Just for the fact that on top of being a complete cuckold and a complete scumbag, his complete lack of any empathy. Sarkeesian, Quinn and Wu have snapped a twig or 10, but at least they occasionally show a bit more emotional depth than this, and they're not quite that fucked in the head. I mean, Brianna Wu's a textbook fucking nutcase, but even she's not this disgusting. So there you go, Jono. You get number 3. Fuck you, fat boy. Number 2, the vegan YouTube community. Well, more to the point, the extremist vegan YouTube community. Because there are vegan YouTubers who at least give a shit about their fellow human being. This year I have dealt with problems from Freely the Banana Girl, Jurian Rider, Vegan Gains, and their psychotic little fan base running rampant on YouTube. Freely, Jurian Rider, and Vegan Gains all showing at different points their complete lack of empathy. Have you noticed a recurring theme here with most of these assholes? A disturbing lack of empathy for anyone else. Freely saying all meat eaters deserve to die and Nepal deserved their earthquake. Jurian Rider for his disgusting way of talking about his wife like she's just a sex object. And of course Vegan Gains exploiting his grandfather's death, threatening to murder Mr. Repsion, and generally showing what a complete fucking psycho he is. You can claim you're saving the planet, you can claim that you're more moral because you eat leaves and you don't eat animal products, but the fact is, you don't have empathy for people. You don't care about anyone else. You see yourself and your cause as being the only thing that fucking matters, when it doesn't, and it isn't. You know, people are also a type of animal. We are part of the animal kingdom. We are a natural occurring part of life ourselves. And if you don't have empathy for us, you can't really call yourself an empathetic human being. But these are more people that exploit tragedies for personal gain and to push an agenda at an inappropriate time. How people can look up to Freely, etc., I don't know. Yes, you can see the underlying message, but that's not the point. It's the message being presented at face value that shows you the horrible kinds of people that the militant vegan community is. Extremist, militant anythings are a fucking blight on whatever their cause is, but because these guys are so prominent and because the things they do are so damn disgusting, I had to include them on this list. And I think number 2 is a very fitting position for them, considering they're all massive pieces of shit. Which brings me to number 1. Martin Shkreli, the medicine mogul, for his raising of the prices of life-saving AIDS drugs. How the fuck do you defend raising something from $17.50 to around about $7,500 a pill? There's no justification for that. This prick can't even justify it. It's just sheer personal greed. It literally is just sheer personal greed. You have someone here who brought the rights to these fucking drugs and spiked the prices that badly for nothing outside of personal fucking greed. You have what is a lifeline to some people. You have what is the last fucking chance to some people, for other fucking human beings, to get their lives back together, to live their lives, to save their lives. And instead of going, okay, I'm going to mass produce these so you people can get the medicine you need so you can live a long, healthy life, so I can help cure you of this horrible, horrible disease, instead you have some fucking cocksucker who goes, I've got the rights, I'm going to spike the price of this so only the richest and most wealthy can afford it, so I can line my pockets, I can get fucking rich, I can make a killing off this, and those of you that can't afford it, well, tough titties. And it's not fucking fair. That is disgusting. That is possibly the biggest lack of empathy for anybody I have ever seen. See, I consider myself an empathetic person, but this is just fucking cruelty at its highest. This is just sadistic greed at its highest. So, Martin Shkreli has been indicted on fraud charges, but he's been released on bail, which is really kind of fucked up when you think about it, because what it says is that the man can take away people's lifelines, the man can show complete disregard and contempt for human life, but don't you dare rip off the American government. So that's, by extension, fuck you, the American government. They're having their priorities wrong in terms of this cunt. He should be in fucking jail, and he should have had the rights to the drugs stripped off him, and the rights should have been distributed to someone who actually cares about other people. AIDS sufferers. It's essentially like a living hell on earth, living with AIDS and HIV. These people could have another lease on life with this. This is something that could give these people their lives back. And this fucking bastard has the audacity to jack it up by 5,000%. What a fucking piece of crap. What an absolute fucking scumbag. So anyway, that's my top 10 biggest fuckwits of 2015. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to the people that have subscribed to my channel over the year. Thank you to the friends that I have made. I will see you guys in 2016. I'm Damian Skyfire. Till next time.